Well, good morning, everyone. This is PNW Today, coming to you live from the WJOB studios. Because it's live, we had a little glitch there a couple moments ago, but we're back online, and Ryan's got us going. It's an absolutely lovely day in the region. I mean that with all sincerity. No need to wear your heaviest winter coats today, right, Chancellor? Save those for January. But today, you can you need a coat, but not your heaviest coats. I'm Richard Rupp, your host for PNW's weekly show here on WJOB. It's our last show of the year, and we've got a terrific lineup. In the studio this morning is the effervescent Dr. Karen Bishop Morris, Dean of the PNW Honors College, and two PNW students, Janelle Contreras, an MA student in communication, and Michael Goodman, an undergraduate in our College of Business and Honors College. Well, folks, by all rights, these three individuals and their compatriots have a right to be a little tired because they are just back from a 17-hour flight from Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Karen, Janelle, Michael, and a delegation of a total of 7 were in the magical country of Oman and the fantasy city of Dubai. Welcome, my weary travelers.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And are you weary, or have you recovered from your jet lag? I want to make sure, just a sec, that we've got good audio on Michael. Okay, everybody's clear. Great. Well, these merry travelers are back from a PNW trip to the Middle East, and we're going to jump right into it. But let me give you a little bit of context, everybody, about what PNW has been doing in the Middle East. About 13 years ago, PNW was approached by a group of educational entrepreneurs, if you would like. They were folks who were very keen to build a liberal arts college in the country of Oman, in the city of Muscat. And they were very keen to focus on the liberal arts, which is so cool because this is the Arabian Peninsula, and most of the countries are a divine right monarchy. So you don't see a lot of liberal art universities out there, but they were very keen to do that with us. And so we began it as just an idea 13 years ago. And today the group is back from a magnificent physical college that has been built and nearly 1,000 students. So in a short period of time, PNW has helped make this happen. The college is called Bayan College, and we're also affiliated with Mazun College. And it's really important to note that these are not PNW degrees. Our job, you might want to think about it as we kind of played midwife in this process. We helped these people, these students, build an institution that they wanted to build. So in a couple of moments, I'm going to tell you all about, we're going to start talking to my guest and maybe even take some call-ins, because I'm going to give our call-in number 219-844-1230, 219-844-1230, because I bet I've got some students who didn't get up as early as you this morning, but might want to call in and share their experiences. But let me go to one of my amazing corporate sponsors for a quick announcement.
This is Andrea Calderon on the Purdue Northwest beat.
Corporate.
Our campuses in Hammond and Westville will be closed for the winter recess from December 24th through January 1st. On the hardwood, the men's basketball team defeated Judson.
So I'm just going to introduce you by names again, and then I'll say, so how was the trip? And I'm Karen. We'll start, and then again we'll just jump in.
Contribution. Give online today at pnw.edu/giving. Have a great New Year, everyone.
Alrighty, we're back in the studio with my guest, Dean Karen Bishop Morris of the Honors College at PNW, and two marvelous students, Michael Goodman and Janelle Contreras, who are just back from an amazing trip to the Middle East. I shouldn't say it's amazing because I wasn't there. So, Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about the trip?
Well, Richard, thanks so much for having us on. You know, a trip like this is a little bit business and a little bit rock and roll. Probably the biggest purpose is cultural enrichment, but we certainly traveled with some outcomes in mind. So, as you said, this is the first time in 13 years that we've actually had a student delegation over in Oman. So that was very exciting for the Omanis as well as for us. And the hope is that we actually create some teaching opportunities for our students as well as opportunities for faculty research and collaboration. So it was great. A trip like this doesn't come together without a lot of pieces and players. So just a special thank you to the Chancellor Chancellor Keon, and to you, Richard, for stewarding this relationship, as well as all of the deans and department chairs and faculty here on the ground that supported these students financially and logistically to make this happen. I'm going to shout out, too, really quick, just the other faculty leader on the trip, Dr. Raida Abuzam from the College of Business, and, of course, Dean Jane Muchler from the College of Business, who supported not only Michael Goodman, but also Bailey McGrath. And then we also had support from Dean Niaz Latif from the College of Technology, 2 students there, Jeremy Diedrich and Shakira Taylor. And then lastly, our own Dr. Elaine Carey from the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, who supported Janelle Contreras, our guest in the studio today, as well as Alexia Dukes and Laura Riggle.
Indeed. And I'm just going to take the opportunity to shout out to our friends in Oman, because I have been a part of this program for many, many years, and I think they're going to be watching this because, Janelle, you're going to make sure that all of our Omani friends get a copy of the show. Yeah. So I just want to say hello, Dr. Moody. How are you, my dear? And I want to thank you for taking such incredible care of the students, and, of course, my dear friend, Dr. Juma, who is the executive director, board director of the 2 universities, one of my dearest friends. And I know this man's generosity and kindness, and I want to say thank you, Dr. Juma, and all of my many, many friends. There are too many to list, but Rexy, Asha, I'm looking forward to you seeing us. So let's turn to the stars of the day, Janelle and Michael. So, tell us about your experiences. I know we're just going to jump in, and so how was the trip?
Experience of a lifetime, to say the least. So much packed into the 10 days by which we were in the 2 countries, and very grateful for that opportunity. I feel like I learned a lot.
I'm just want to make sure that I'm not picking up Michael. Janelle, do you want to start in?
Yes, I could start in.
Go ahead, Janelle.
Okay. The stars aren't us. The stars are the students at Bayan College and Monsoon College. They are definitely the ones who changed our lives and our perspectives. And it was an amazing trip. It was life-changing, and as cliche as that sounds, again, we weren't the superstars. It was the students in Muscat, Oman.
Well, how did that experience go? It was life-changing, but what was it about the students? What was it about the conversations? Because I gather you were able to spend a good deal of time. That was one of our goals, for you to spend group time together.
The thing that stood out to me right away was how excellent their English was, and their abilities to communicate with us so clearly, so personably, and being so excited. For example, as soon as you walk in, they were eager to mingle. It was finals week, just like it was here back home. And they voluntarily went to school to talk to us, to hear our workshops. They wanted to be with us.
Michael?
Definitely, yeah. They spoke absolutely incredible English. I mean, as students going over there, I don't speak hardly any Arabic.
Sure.
So for them to be able to communicate.
Assalamu alaikum.
Exactly. Alaikum salam. So for them to speak as clearly to us and be able to engage in conversation at the depth we had, I think was very important, and a lot of credit goes on their part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We had trouble pulling our students away, all of the students away for lunch. I mean, they would, get together at 8 in the morning, and I mean, we had really, really long days there. They spent time with the students in their campus recording studio. I mean, just from activity to activity.
Right.
And, I knew there would be tears at the end, and there were.
It was so much fun getting to know them. I mean, they were very enthusiastic to talk to us about their culture, their colleges for sure, their lives, and their country. And we learned a lot from that, and they were excited to hear about our lives in Purdue Northwest and everything that we do and what we're involved in over here and what we stand for in the region. And it was great to learn so much from each other, I think. It went real well.
I tell you, before you all went, I kind of gave you a long briefing about the country, and of course, you can only convey so much as to when you're physically there. So, and there's simply there's nothing approaching Oman in the northern hemisphere. So, what was your physical experience? Because this is a very, very different place. Janelle?
As soon as you walk off the plane and you step the ground, the first thing that I noticed were the colors and the way the air felt and the silence. Oh, it was beautiful. Instantly, instantly, that's when I knew, like, yep, I'm experiencing something that's changing my worldview. And again, like the sand, the mountains, red.
Well, I understand. Again, my good friends in Oman arranged quite a overnight for you. That you had the incredible experience of being in Range Rovers and driving through the Rocky Desert, and then entering in the empty quarter, the beautiful undulating sand dunes. How was that?
Some of what happens in the desert stays in the desert.
Some of what happens stays in the desert? Okay, Dr. Moody, we're going to need to talk.
No, but Mike, I think you had a great experience in ATVing.
I really did, yeah. We jumped in some Jeeps, and on the way to like the camp we were staying in, we went over some of the mountains and had a little bit of fun, and definitely got quite an experience with that.
I imagine there's some photos that we might want to edit and then
some photos, some videos.
Yeah, okay. So, how was it to be for the two of you at least? This is the first time you were in a predominantly Muslim country, and so what was that like? Because I remember talking to you before, and so actually a couple of your parents were a little concerned. Because the Oman, while an incredibly peaceful country, is in a dangerous corner of the world, not unlike Hammond, Indiana, you could say. I mean,
Right.
I always like to say that to the Omanis because the United States has its own considerable difficulties, and part of our experience. Part of our experience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the studio. Chancellor Keon has just arrived in a magnificent skull cap, which goes beautifully with his Christmas tie. Welcome, Chancellor.
Hello.
Hello, and how are you doing? We've got the mic right here.
We're doing very well this morning. I just thought I would come in with my Omani cap to say hello to
Fantastic.
everybody. I'll let you go on with the show, but I wanted to say hello.
Well, thank you very much, Chancellor.
Good to see you, Chancellor.
Good to see you.
And again, a big thank you to Chancellor Keon because he was a major supporter of this and has been to Oman himself.
Yes.
And has signaled his continuing support. But let's go back to that comment about being in a Muslim country. What was your experience?
So back to that question, it was a magnificent experience. What you see on the news, what you see in the newspaper, what you kind of think of is nothing even close to Oman. Oman is one of the most peaceful places I've ever been, one of the most respectable places I've ever been. The people, the culture, everyone was so friendly, excited to see tourists, excited to see foreigners, very accepting of what we stand for in America. They were ready to talk and congratulate us and get to know us. And no matter where we went, everyone was friendly. It wasn't just the colleges. It wasn't just like the hotel. I mean, we stopped in a town that doesn't see much tourism.
Sure.
And we're walking around and people are bowing to us. Hello, good to see you. Where are you from? It was eye-opening because it's definitely not what you see on the news.
Janelle?
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Extremely peaceful. And also, I learned a lot from the students because they would share about their siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the connections I made. So we had a chance to talk about, they wanted to know about your family. So I would talk about my siblings and how many I'm 1 out of 5. And here in the United States, I remember in school growing up, they'd be like, whoa, you're 1 out of 5?
Right.
But there, they have so many brothers and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and they love big families. They welcome it.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely supportive people, very peaceful, and the way they honor their parents I thought that I knew what love is, but they love and honor their parents.
My heart pounds. That's exactly my experience over the years.
And that was the experience I had communicating and talking about families and that love for families and their religion.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the bigger takeaways, kind of professionally for you, and this because now this really was an important trip for us because it really deepens our relationship and the role that Purdue Northwest can play. And we're hoping to host Omani students here on campus this summer. So, I believe you gave presentations on your work, Karen.
Each student actually presented either from their academic disciplines and also They gave some insight and window into some of the social and cultural activities that they're involved in on campus. And so that was a great exchange, because there are some things that we are doing that are exciting and new and innovative, but also I think just this depth of kind of closeness that the Omani culture shares. I think we took away some really valuable lessons there as well.
Definitely did.
Terrific. We're going to cut one more time to our corporate sponsors. I shouldn't probably say that because it's us. These are spots that our good friend Doug Clark cuts for us. But here we go.
Hi, this is Andrea Calderon, a communications major at Purdue Northwest. Sport your ride with a license plate showing your Purdue Northwest pride. Purdue Northwest Indiana license plates can be ordered now, online or at your local license branch when you renew or register a new vehicle. Your purchase includes a $25 tax-deductible gift towards student scholarships. Get your Purdue Northwest plate today and drive with the pride.
Absolutely, we want you driving with a pride. Karen was out in the lot, arriving, and my license plate says "Go Leo." So, but I'm not going to let the three of you go. Do you have a car, Michael?
I do.
You do. That's enough. And Janelle, do you have a car?
No pressure.
And Karen, you and Vern have lots of cars. So we need to get those drivers,
sure.
ask those license plates out there, because we're up to 221. And last week, Dean Hopp was here in the studio, and she said, she has a nursing license plate. And she couldn't. Well, Richard, I've got the nursing license plate. I just told her, you could buy a new car.
Yeah, there you go.
And so let's talk to Vern. I'd like to see some more.
It's got to be as clever as Go Leo, though.
I like to see some more cars out there. So what did the two of you present on?
I'll go first. So I presented on a little bit about myself, where I went to high school, and then more in depth about what I do on campus, a lot of the things I'm involved in, what it's like to be a College of Business student, what it's like to be in the Honors College, how amazing it's been to be able to serve as one of the vice presidents to the Honors College, the president of peer mentoring. I went in depth about what my committee represents and what our goals are and how our success was this past semester as we just concluded our 8-week peer mentoring program. And I also went in depth about our being on the golf team, being on the men's golf team, talked about my coach, and then what it's like to be an athlete and how being an athlete at Purdue Northwest has really evolved throughout the years, and NCAA Tier 2.
At Mizzou, actually, they've adopted our sports management program. So they've woven that into their College of Business, which we're excited about. And Oman is starting to build golf courses, which is not an insignificant operation when you're in the middle of the Arabian Peninsula. But as you saw, ecotourism and tourism is growing in Oman because it is such an incredibly beautiful country, as you described today, and there's a lot of comparative advantage for them. Janelle, what did you chat with?
The personal presentation highlighted my family and the roots and the foundation of school, and I'm a master's student. So they got to see my undergraduate work and my graduate work.
Right.
And for those who don't know, Bion College is big on media studies.
Yes, indeed.
So when I said, I've done broadcasting, advertising, journalism, public relations, their eyes were so wide and in wonder. Mm-hmm. And I felt that it captivated them, and we were on the same page. And that felt amazing. Well,
one of the things that evolved with the college over the years is that when we began the project, we had no idea. It was for men and women, boys, young men and young women. And it really has evolved into a women's college because, as you both saw, it was overwhelmingly female. And so we take good care of the young men, but for having you there, Janelle, and the other women on the tour, it was this ability to see what can happen. So that was a big part of our journey. I want to before we amazing as always, these shows go so fast. We also arranged a very special capper to the trip because you saw what I began at the opening of the show, Magical Oman. Then you had a long drive through the desert, and you ended the tour in a radically different locale.
Night and day.
Yeah. United Arab Emirates. How were those 2 days, Karen?
They were also amazing,
amazing
grueling,
experience as well.
But the juxtaposition between sort of the magic and the serenity and tranquility of Oman versus this thriving, bustling, international Mecca. was quite something to see. It was a little bit of culture shock, actually.
Definitely had our experience to be able to go to Oman and see the culture, and then go to Dubai and see kind of a more bigger modern city.
Right. Right. It's an amazing place. It's like the wealthiest man in the world said to the world's architects, have a ball. Because the buildings are extraordinary.
Well, and speaking of, the Burj Khalifa was designed by the same architect. He's a Chicago-based architect.
Exactly.
Who designed Millennium Park and is designing the 1-kilometer Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I loved it both, but I wanted to go back to Oman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and
I agree.
And I know they want you to come back. Yeah. I know they want you back in Oman. In fact, I know Lexi Dukes is thinking about perhaps going and accepting a teaching offer.
Absolutely.
So, and I can assure you, even if you don't do that, you've got permanent friends in Oman.
There's no doubt about
that. And so just I can assure you of that. Say, we got to wind up the show, and my crack staff, Cheryl and Doug, have put together this year in review. And rather than me reading it all, we're going to do a quick round robin of some of the highlights of this amazing year at Purdue Northwest. So here we go. Gabus Arboretum at Purdue Northwest. PNW grew to 3 destinations through the $12 million gift by the Gabus family of the former Tall Tree Arboretum and Gardens near Valparaiso.
Pulitzer Prize-winning author Edward Humes enlightened us about our wasteful ways last March as he hosted a panel discussion about his book, Garbology, Our Dirty Love Affair with Trash and the Way Back.
College of Business received a prestigious recognition from AACSB International for their pilot partnership with Junior Achievement. PNW was among 30 global institutions recognized.
Day of Giving record. Supporters of PNW raised a record of $1,058,979 in a single day last April.
NCAA Division II PNW athletes were approved for its 3rd and final provisional year of becoming a full member of the NCAA Division II.
College of Nursing. For the second consecutive time, PNW's College of Nursing was named one of 16 Centers of Excellence by the National League of Nursing.
New partnership, PNW began a new collaboration with the Society of Innovators of Northwest Indiana, further enhancing its role as the region's gateway for creators, innovators, and entrepreneurs.
Groundbreaking. Our little corner on the earth shook as PNW broke ground on the $40.5 million Bioscience Innovation Building on the Hammond campus.
PNW shared the national spotlight as the Sinai Forum kicked off its 65th season with the former FBI Director James Comey. Other noted speakers this year included Washington Post reporter Robert Costa and legendary college football coach Lou Holtz.
In October, PNW hosted its first nationally televised senatorial political debate in Indiana's hotly contested race for the U.S. Senate.
Counseling Center. PNW officially opened the Indianapolis Boulevard Counseling Center housing the Marriage and Family Therapy Center and PNW's Community Counseling Center.
Athletics postseason. The men's soccer team became PNW's first team ever to host a postseason conference match.
And last week at graduation, PNW awarded its first applied doctoral degrees in the College of Nursing, a historic ending to a historic year. Well, folks, what a great year it was. On all fronts, the university is really firing on all cylinders. I want to thank my guest in the studio this morning, Michael Janelle, and my dear friend Karen Bishop Morris for all their great work. I want to say again, because this is going to be seen in, according to Janelle in Oman later today, I want to say a special holiday greeting to all of our dear friends and family in Oman.
Absolutely.
And I will be there next month for the accreditation visits, Dr. Moody. We also want to say a special shout out to Dr. Dan Wilbur, who has been in
Dan.
who has been in Oman this past semester serving as interim dean. He's coming back this week to be with his wife and family, and he'll be heading right back. And so look forward to seeing Dan and wishing everybody a very happy, safe holiday season. So from all of us at PMW, happy holidays, all good wishes. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.